What's good? It's your boy Reek Got Options. Thank you for joining RG on another episode of Sunday Stocks. Like I always say, whether the market is up or down, we see green. And right now we're seeing wartime, yes. Israel and Iran are going at it since Thursday night. It was crazy. Bombs away. And the market started tanking. The moment that information came out around like 8 p.m., it was bad. Everything was down roughly 2 to 3%. Unless it was a defensive name like LMT, RTX. We're going to get to that, of why you should trade defensive names when they're talking about the war. Also, when you are talking about war, you want to look at the dip. Yes, when SPY or anything gets affected by the war, it's going to take a big dip, then everybody's going to buy it for some odd reason. The market loves to buy war. So when you're looking at SPY, right, what do? We gapped down. We opened up at 598. The close was at 603. So boom, we gapped all the way down to 598. Then we tried to push back up. So if you go previous day high, previous day low, you will see that was a 50% retracement rejection on SPY. This is all you got to do. You can zoom in, look at this bad boy right here. Boom, 50% level rejection, right? So when looking at that, that's when you could have got back in. The market does love to buy up war. Right now, futures are going crazy. ES is going crazy. US 500 is moving up a little bit. So we're going to see what the market does tomorrow at open. You have some critical levels to get above. If not, then it is coming back down. Now, the close at 597 is not too good because it closed under the non-EMA. If we get another close under the non-EMA on the daily, then trust and believe we're going to get some more selling pressure and try to fill this gap right here around 570. So again, back to war, right? When you hear war, you want to instantly think defensive names. You want to think buy the dip in the market. If you're going to day trade it, you're probably going to get smoked. But if you look at things like LMT, right? LMT, Lockheed Martin, they were running crazy. They had a vicious gap up. We closed at Thursday at 469, and then you gap all the way up to 486. So that was roughly a 17-point bounce. Now the market opened up at 479. So it's a 10-point bounce. We get through the 50% retracement level, run up here past the 20 EMA, and look how strong of a close we get. We get the strong close where the last rejection was, right? Well, the breakdown was. Then it was rejection, rejection, rejection at the 20 EMA. So if this holds, you can bet your bottom dollar that we're going to the 618 range around 500. I'm not saying it's going to happen Monday or next week, but it's going to happen the next couple of weeks if this persists, right? Now let's look at the 4-hour chart to see what it did early in the AM. So Friday, it went crazy all the way up to 493 and then dropped back down and then started to go crazy, right? All morning it was above 480. So Lockheed Martin is one of those ones that you want to look into. Also, you want to look at RTX, because that's another defensive name that we could just go on a day to look at this. Look, before we go there, look how high it went to 150. Now it's at 147. If you look at the daily, it's just been running up anyway after the bounce of the 21 EMA, and then just kept running. So you want to look at RTX, and we can just chart this up right here. I'm going to do this like I do for people on my Zoom calls, because this is real important for you guys to understand what's going on and how we find these moves and how we execute properly. So I like to go to my 12-month chart, and then I want to get a couple years worth of data. So I want to go 2025 high to 2023 low with my Fibonacci retracements. Boom, come down here like that. And then you can see this year we bounce off the 66618 range, right? We walk it down, we go to the monthly. Look at the month. You see right here, April 2025, bounce up the 21 EMA, and then the last 2 months has just been extremely bullish. We get out of, we break out of 147. We can tell you the next level, because this is what we do. We like to take our 66618 range. We like to highlight it. After we highlight our 66618 range, we always move to the top or the bottom of a fib level, right? So I can move it to the 618 range, put it there, and I can show you where we could possibly go if we break below 117, and it shows you this area of confluence right here, how strong 113.65 was. All the way through, 113.65 was just strong. And 1, 2, 3, 4 times, right? So you always put this at the top or the bottom of a fib level. So we're going to go to the 1% Fibonacci retracement and put it here. So if we break through 147.24, then yes, we can get to 150.70. This can happen real fast on a daily, on the monthly, on the weekly. So we're going to leave it there, go to the week, see how the week's looking. Very, very strong bounce off the 9 EMA. And then we're going to go to the daily. And you already know how it's going on the daily. So this is what you want to look at. We can slide this down here on the daily. Look at this area of confluence. Boom. Open up right here at 143.52. And now we're inside this area. We break out of here. You already know we're going to 150. That's exactly how we chart things up. RTX is a defensive name. I got my defensive names together. You also want to look at consumer goods, healthcare, Johnson & Johnson, things of that nature. Merck, Regeneron, Abivi, Myrna, all those things. They didn't have too much of a hot day other than Lilly. Lilly, you could see Lilly running back up and blitzing 850 after it breaks through 830, and we can highlight our 66618 range right here. I have it color coded so I know exactly what my ranges are when I'm charting up like this, because I start on the yearly chart, and then boom, put this there. 858, 860. Lilly could be 900 in the next month. It was already bottoming out. All the healthcares are hitting the bottom. Now, back to our bread and butter, right? Looking at Tesla, looking at Apple, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, Nvidia. If you don't know what these things are, they are the Mag 7. Not too good, not too good, not too good, not too good, not too good. Definitely lagging. We don't know what's going on with Apple. It should be bullish right now, but we're going to wait and see what's going on. It's not a buy for me until it gets over 205. Tesla, Elon was tripping, dropped down to 270. Now he apologized, and we're back at 325. Looking at Apple on a daily, we just have so many rejections across the board, so many gaps to be filled to the downside. And now it's just like in no man's land. You can see Apple coming down to 195. If it breaks down below 195, then yes, it's coming to 192. After 192, we could possibly break back out to 207. We just got to get over this 50 EMA. Rejection of the 9 EMA, 21 EMA. Too much space in between here. They're going down. And the 50% retracement level is right here. Is nothing under here other than 176. Apple is not looking good at all. Tesla. Nice bounce. We could have got this right shoulder right here that I drew up. I drew up a head and shoulders, but this gets invalidated, right? We could just do this so you get a better look. We keep rejecting the last breakout. Right here, we were holding support. We're breaking out. I have all this on here because I was day trading Tesla a whole hell of a lot. So, looking at Tesla, just cleaning this up for you guys. I felt as though Tesla was going to drop down to at least 272 again after we broke down through the 50 EMA. We have not done so. The 9 EMA has finally crossed. It's fighting, but it's finally crossed the 21 EMA. What you need is for Tesla to break out at 335 again in order to run up to 340, and then from 340 you get to 357 and then hit the highs in the 360 area, right? This does not happen. We get another rejection right here, then yes, it's going to fall hard. The 20 EMA is waiting at the 50% retracement level. This is the neckline right here at 272 under the neckline. Then it's going to melt to 250, then possibly come back up. I like a breakout of a support of 272, then a breakout with Tesla if we start to drop down. So yes, I would definitely play puts under these EMAs under 321. I would play puts under 310 for sure. And then definitely under 295, I would just go $5 down, and I would go $5 up for everything. Now, back to talking about war. Trump is saying that, hey, we're possibly going to get a ceasefire, possibly going to come to a resolution, blah, 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 blah. You just got to watch the news, pay attention, because the news right now is going to influence the market. Technicals do reign supreme, but the news is going to make you have big movements in a quick flash in 15 minutes, 30 minutes, things of that nature. You could be up 200% in the trade, and the news would just obliterate all that. And one of the most important things coming out this week is none other than the FOMC meeting on Wednesday at 2:30. It's the press conference right here. You have the statement coming out. You have the minutes coming out at 2 p.m. And you know we already talk about at 2 p.m. we inverse the initial move, and we do the same thing at 2:30. You want to watch and see what's going on. When Powell starts to talk, if the market starts to pump up, trust and believe it might just come back down if it finds a top. Powell starts to talk, and then the market starts to drop down. Trust and believe it's going to find a pop after he stops talking, and they find the bottom. So this is what you got to look for. FOMC is very important this week. The war news is still important this week. So it's just going to be a jam-packed week in June, and we're going to see if we can survive to July. And be on the lookout for August, because that 20% correction, they're talking about it. They're talking about it's coming, and I believe it's going to happen in August. As of right now, I am still overall bullish for the month of June. We just have to see what's going on. Apple is lagging out of the Mag 7. Everything else was just at the highs. NVIDIA did not break under 140, so that was good. AMD ran up to 120 and then dropped back down. Micron is on the tear. SMCI is on the tear. Also, remember, quantum computing stocks, look at those, because they're going to be the next big things to go. Get leaps on those long-term anticipation positions, right? Long-term equity anticipation positions. You get those leaps in quantum computing, you won't have nothing to worry about. You won't have to worry about the 2% drops or anything like that. Qubit is just running and having its way, 20% a day, dropping 5% the next day, running up another 17% the next day. Just be on it. And remember, hit that like and subscribe button, share this video, subscribe to the Discord. All the information is in the details. And remember, well, it's in the description. And remember, we having a Zoom call tonight at 9 p.m. It's always free for everybody that's not a subscriber. But subscribe to the Discord, follow me on Instagram and all that. And another thing, I am doing a 4-week, $250 mentorship program. With that, you're going to get an ebook. You're going to get the class. It's going to start July 8th. And then you're also going to get a year subscription to the Discord. We're going to go over all that. You're going to have 2 classes a week, Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Every single class will be recorded. You're going to have homework assignments, quizzes, and then a final exam, and get a market bully certificate at the end of the course. We're just doing this course so you can become a profitable trader, so you can know the ins and outs when it comes to charting, when it comes to day trading and everything. We're going to walk it down step by step. We're not just going to throw you in the fire with paper trading. We're going to get you to learn how to chart before you even paper trade, how to read a stock chart, how to look at candlesticks, how to look at trend lines, how to set up your own trend lines, Fibonacci retracements, how to work the 66618 level, all that good stuff. So if you want access to all that, hit that like and subscribe button. Follow me. You're going to see me promoting it all over my social media and the Discord. $250 for 4 weeks to mentorship. RGO Market Bullies, I got you. Other than that, I'm going to see you guys tonight. Peace.